breakfast this week, I'm making an easy breakfast hash. So I have a healthy, high protein breakfast for the first official week of my cut. So let me show you what you'll need. Salt and pepper. The recipe calls for bacon. I'm actually gonna do these chicken apple sausages instead. It's easier, it's more protein. I'm gonna go that route. You could do bacon, you could do Jimmy Dean, turkey sausage crumbles, whatever you prefer. Eggs, some yellow potatoes, and an onion. So the first thing I'm doing is sauteing down the onions. If you were using bacon, you would also want to cook your bacon. And then I'm going to wash and dice up my yellow potatoes. Then we're going to add in our diced up potatoes. And then we're going to season with some salt and pepper. And we're going to let these potatoes start to cook. You might even want to pop a lid on to kind of steam them a little bit, but we want to get them cooked and brown and crispy. I'm going to add in the diced up chicken sausage links, and those are pre-cooked, so we're just going to warm them through. You would also add in your cooked bacon at this part as well. Now we're going to crack in 6 eggs, kind of start to scramble those, and then we'll mix them in with the potatoes, sausage, and onions. And then we're just going to kind of start to scramble those and mix everything together. So here is the breakfast hash. This looks so good. You could top this with some cheese. You could throw this in a tortilla. Nice, clean ingredient, healthy breakfast. I'll go ahead and put all the information here on the screen for you. For my lunch this week, I'm making high protein crispy garlic chicken fried rice. I just realized I don't have any green onions, so I'm omitting that, but the original recipe does call for 3 sliced green onions. But let me show you what else is in the recipe. So you want some rice, preferably pre-cooked day-old rice. This is actually left over from a HelloFresh meal, so it's basically like day-old rice. And then I've got chicken breast from my butcher box. I do have free meat with butcher box. I'll have it linked down below for you. 3 eggs, soy sauce, frozen peas and carrots, cornstarch, garlic, sesame oil, and some salt and pepper. So I added half of a tablespoon of sesame oil to my skillet. I cut up my chicken into small pieces and then coated it with some cornstarch. That'll give it a nice crispiness. And then we're gonna let the chicken start to cook until it's nice and crispy. Once your chicken is nice and crispy, we're just gonna add it to a plate, remove it from the skillet. Another half a tablespoon of our oil. Scoop of minced garlic and let that cook until fragrant. Cracking in our 3 eggs. And scramble those together with that garlic. Then we're gonna add in the cooked rice. And about a cup of the frozen peas and carrots. I'm going to allow that to warm through just a little bit, the rice and those veggies. You would also add in your green onions at this time. Then we're gonna add in our chicken, just getting it nice and crispy again, and then stir everything to combine. Oh my goodness, this looks amazing. What a great way to get in protein, healthy carbohydrates, some veggies, and lots of flavor. I'll go ahead and put all the information here on the screen for you. For dessert this week, I'm making Copycat Starbucks Lemon Loaf, one of my favorite things from Starbucks, and we're gonna make it healthier, less calories, less points. So let me show you what you'll need. You're going to need all-purpose flour, sugar alternative of your choice. I always use allulose. I buy it on Amazon. I'll link it for you. Powdered sugar alternative of your choice. I am subbing unsweetened applesauce for the oil in the recipe. Vanilla extract, non-fat Greek yogurt, lemons, light butter or regular butter, whatever your preference. Eggs, baking soda, baking powder. So I added my 1.5 cups of flour, half a cup baking powder, half a cup baking soda to a bowl. I also melted down 2 tablespoons of butter. To that, we're adding 1 cup of allulose, 1/2 of a cup of unsweetened applesauce, 1/2 of a cup of non-fat plain Greek yogurt, and crack in those 3 eggs. And we're just going to mix this together until we have a smooth consistency. We're adding in our vanilla extract, and then we're going to zest in a couple of lemons. Then I'm going to juice those lemons. We need about 1/4 cup of lemon juice. And we're going to add the lemon juice and stir it all together. And then we're adding the wet ingredients to our dry ingredients. And then mix to combine. Just make sure not to over mix. It'll make your bread spongy. Then to our greased baking pan, our bread loaf pan, we're going to add our mixture and just smooth out the top. And then we're putting our bread into a 350-degree oven for about 40 to 45 minutes. We're also going to make the glaze that goes on top. So for the glaze, I added a cup of powdered sugar, and then we're just adding in lemon juice. I just zest a lemon until we have a glaze consistency. So I would just do a little bit of lemon juice at a time. And there is our glaze for our lemon loaf. We'll just set that aside. Also, make sure you set aside a lemon because you're going to want to zest a fresh lemon right on top. So I just pulled the lemon loaf out of the oven. I'm going to let it cool completely before we glaze it. All right, we're gonna glaze our loaf. I cut off kind of the crispy edges. I've got my glaze. I'm just gonna kind of spread it on top, and then we'll pop on a little bit of zested lemon. And then just zest on a little bit of lemon. So here is the lemon loaf. I'm going to allow it to finish cooling, slice it up. Let me go ahead and put all the information here on the screen for you.